What's up, party people? Oh man, let me fix these things. Couple minutes early. I figured we'd just throw on a classic. We got some things to talk about this week. It's Skater of the Year time. Um, I really wanted to start today by watching this video, just because it keeps popping up in my YouTube. Let me just pause it real quick. It's really too bad we can't have any music, just because the soundtrack to this, I remember it being really good. So let's just pull it up here. Yeah, this is from 1997, Rhythm Genesis. Um, yeah, this video, like I said, I owned this video. Um, for some reason, I really liked Rhythm. I honestly can't remember why. I don't know if it was their magazine ads or something like that, but for some reason in my head, Rhythm was this like really great company. And now looking back, I don't really know really who was on it. Oh, Danny Montoya. I remember always fast forwarding through Felix Arguella's part. I don't know why. Let's watch it and see. But we're gonna fast forward to the intro because we don't need to see the intro. It actually kind of looks like a short video. This looks like it's somebody's part. So let's see who it is. With some vert stuff. Yeah, Rhythm Genesis came out in 97. Let's see. That would have made me 13. Richard Angelides. He looks super young, which is crazy because I thought he was old. Um, Look at this kid. He looks like he's like 15. In my head, he was, in his late 20s. I thought he'd been around for a long time. That could be because his name was Richard, and that was my grandfather's name. And I wouldn't put it past me being really like a silly kid thinking like, well, anyone with the name Richard's old. That was a sick switchback lip shove. He's rocking the shell toe, little Adidas Superstar action. Hey, if you're just tuning in, hit the chat. I just started off the video watching Rhythm Genesis. We're just kind of watching a few parts until maybe like 9:05. Then we'll get started on the Skater of the Year stuff. But yeah, Richard used to skate a lot of Converse and a lot of Adidas. Um, that might have also been why he wasn't like one of my favorites because at this point, um, how old would I be? I think I just did the math. 97. I was like 12, right? So I was probably like 12 or 13. I was like so deep into skating that if they weren't wearing actual skate shoes, like Emerica or S or Etnies, even though I didn't really like Etnies, or DCs. I was really heavily into DC at this time. But if they weren't wearing those shoes, I like didn't really like care for their skating. I think I felt like they were too sporty. They were too into the sports for me. And I was very, I liked sports, but you would have never had me admit it. As I've gotten older, I'll admit, I did go through a basketball phase. I still enjoy basketball. Um, but I find sports sometimes pretty boring. A lot of it seems like I'm just being served a bunch of ads, which happens in skating a lot now too. That spot was super famous and was in everything. So was this. This spot was in a lot of videos. Mike Carroll skated it, Plan B. So did Sean Sheffy. So did Rick Howard. Pardon me. This spot was really popular. I always wanted to go skate it because it looked like a perfect low, like square handrail. This spot was also very popular. Andrew Reynolds did a line on that same bench. All right, let's keep fast forwarding here, unless we see someone who would want to watch. Who is this? I say I watched this video a lot, but I actually don't even really remember most of this. I love that Switchback 5.0. For some reason, it looked really cool. Oh, that was Richard Angel, or what's his name? We'll see. We'll see. We'll get there. Let's fast forward a bit. This is just kind of like, I guess it's like the artsy part of the video. Oh, who is this? Ryan. Ryan someone. I don't remember this guy at all. Yeah, this that little like bump to bump was like in, we just watched that same bump to bump in virtual reality and in questionable. Yeah, I can see why I didn't remember this guy. The switch backside 50-50 is pretty sick though. Let's see here. I think we can fast forward him as well. If we don't remember him, let's just keep it moving. A lot of slow mo. Should just take it straight to Danny Montoya, I'm sure. Although he probably closes out the video. Jeff Taylor, don't remember this guy. We got some vert guys going on. Here we go. Now, here's someone who I really liked his skating. A lot of nollie heels. And he always had a good style. Danny Montoya was sick. A lot of Long Beach spots. This is Long Beach. This handrail was like really big for a long time. Mostly because of these guys, I think. Mostly because of the Long Beach guys. Danny Montoya is the one who made that like table off the stage at Bixby Park like really popular because he did a lot of crazy tricks on that. That was sick. Nollie Crooks popover. So is that. I've always liked Nollie Cab 5.0s like that, especially with a shove out. Maybe I didn't watch this video as much as I thought I did because I don't really remember most of this. Um, it could be that I just saw the ads a lot in Transworld and Thrasher. That's always been a cool trick. I like that one. He does those a lot though, these Nollie Cab 5.0s, which is okay because they're sick. Switch pop shove it nose grind. I wonder if like should we be doing this like ninja lifestyle? Just like switch blunt to regular, Nollie Cab 5.0, Nollie Crooks, Nollie nose blunt, push twice. Yeah, or three times. I've been watching that guy quite a bit. Some of the stuff I agree with, mostly not all of it, because yeah, Rex. I think it must have been the ads. I think the ads probably are the reason why I think I saw this like a million times when I actually didn't, because we like skipped through like a couple people's parts that I didn't even like. I don't remember their names at all. I always wanted to skate this spot. I think it's over in Hollywood High, but I could be wrong. It's definitely somewhere in Los Angeles. Give me one sec. I gotta blow my nose, gang. Oh, are you talking about the little like hubba he skates like off the straight ledge? Let's go back to it. We're talking about this thing. Yeah, I think it's in Hollywood High, like Beverly Hills High School or something like that. Like somewhere where they filmed quite a bit. But from like 95 to like 98, it's like everywhere. I wonder if it's still there. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna go there and try anything on it. This little like static part, I'm not too fond of. But if you look at this right here, I think this is the same. This looks like the same ledge that Peter Smolik does those like in Fulfill the Dream, the switch back say 180 to Fakey 5.0s on them. I could be wrong though because I think those were brown. All right, let's fast forward here. Getting towards the end of the video. This is actually like a lot of just like fluff in this video. There's not like actually a lot of. All right, we're gonna watch Felix because I remember not liking Felix. Yeah, I'm really not sure if they're coped or not. Felix, I think, falls into this
Someone was detected at your front.
category for me where I didn't really like Felix because he wore a lot of Nikes at the time, and I was so anti Nike at that point. But looking back, I mean, this part so far is like pretty great. Oh, he's wearing some DC boxers. Those are sick. I think if I could go back and get a DC, it would be this DC shoe. Can't believe he's actually wearing them though. He went from the Nikes to the DCs. He looks like he kind of has small feet. Doesn't he? Looks like he's got kind of. Well, the dunks look normal. Those boxers look like really kind of tiny on him. This spot is skated a lot. Jason Lee, Ed Templeton, Jeff Rowley, Ronnie Krieger. They all skated that same high school like bench over the gap. Felix's part is actually pretty good. I'm not sure. Oh, look at those Rudy Johnsons. Those are sick. That was a cool DC shoe. I always wanted a pair of those. Never had them. Especially in blue. The navy with the white sole with the big white DC logo on them. Yeah, I can agree with that. He is like really stiff. Things like he almost like has like rods in his legs. Um, I definitely appreciate him more now. Yeah, a bit kooky. I can agree with that. I think I saw this clip of him doing like a board slide, pop down to board slide on like an aluminum bench or like a varial flip board slide, something like that, like one time. And it was like, well, that's it for me. No more Felix. But now as an adult, oh, he's pretty rad. I mean, he's not much different from what was going on. I think he had already been a pretty established pro at this point too, right? Like, wasn't he around in like I want to say the late '80s? He started popping up. That hubba always looked really incredibly hard to skate. I mean, this knob stuff is pretty crazy. Yeah, the wheel bonk style. I actually really liked. Willie Santos does a lot of the wheel bonk style wrecks in the Birdhouse video, like lip slide and then like wheel bonk out. Geez, people are just getting served up. It wouldn't be a '90s video with like a really like, hey, you want to go skate? Watch all these people just totally destroy their bodies right before you go out and skate. Yeah, he was big in the industry. I know that. He was always kind of around starting teams. Didn't he start Ammo? He's the first person to sponsor Manny Santiago. I don't know why I know that. That's terrible that my brain has that knowledge in there because I'd rather like put like a really fun memory in that spot instead. Is this still fall section? Okay, good. Who are we ending the video with? Oh, Channy. Looks like Channy's got the last part. Channy was pretty sick. I agree with this being the last part. Man, those Venice bits would be so cool to skate now. It just looks like something right out of like the '90s with all that graffiti. I find it kind of depressing that they're gone. I agree. Channy on vert was really cool. I think he was one of the only guys at this time that I would like. I was like okay with that he did vert too. because he was so good on street and he looked good on a skateboard. I wonder if we'll get any vert clips in this though. Pure Smoke skates that gap over fence a lot. Fulfill a dream. That switch heel was pretty sick. Yeah. Yeah. Were a lot of guys good at vert back then? I remember it being mostly street guys. They had abandoned all the vert stuff. Um, I found it like hard to find like a guy who was good at vert and street, but looked good at both. That was the thing. Is like, because you could probably make an argument that Tony Hawk was really good at street too, because he wasn't that terrible at street, but he looked terrible in the street section stuff. His old street, like the old Birdhouse video. What was it called? There's a really old Birdhouse video, like the first one, and Tony's like skating mostly street, and it's cool because it's Tony, but it's terrible because it's Tony on street. Yeah, I can agree. Then the especially in the mid '90s and early '90s, as vert was like collapsing, there was a lot of guys who could skate vert and street. It got later on, it felt like no one skated vert, and then now it's like really surprising. Yeah, Feasters was the name of the Birdhouse video, but it was like it's really surprising now, like when you see like Yuto vert footage, because they're like, oh wow, he can like actually skate vert too. That was a sick fakey 50-50. You don't see that very often on rails. Maybe it swung back around where like vert isn't like a big no-no, or maybe it's not even a no-no, just like lack of accessibility. Geez, that rail was huge for '97. No wonder that was the last clip of his part. Man, that's cool. Channing's part's really good. All right. Oh, it's Ty Evans. That's crazy. All right. Well, we're warmed up. Genesis. Channy was definitely ripping. What's that? Um, yeah, Channy was killing it. The whole video was, it was good. It wasn't amazing, but let's get to the subject at hand. We're here to talk Skater of the Year, right? So I got this tier list going. Put this together yesterday, and we got. Oh, I'm not even sharing it. I gotta share it. Nerd style. I put this together yesterday. We're not going to go through everybody because obviously we know there's a bunch of people on here. There's like no way it's going to happen, right? We'll go in order. I've got some of the videos pulled up of people that maybe we should watch again, or who has a chance, who doesn't. But ultimately, when we look at a list of like close to 30 people, I think we can all agree there's a lot of people on this that we can say it's definitely not happening. A lot of people on this that are definitely, come on, that I know that that it's never going to happen, or that it's not happening anytime soon. But Thrasher's kind of tough, They they put out the poll for voting and everything, and I don't really, it seems like it never really works. So let's do it. Yeah, I was laughing at the bottom tier. I thought that would be funny. Let's start with Alex Middler. He's the first one. I think he's got it in him in the future, because I think he probably fits in with the Thrasher ethos. But we know it's not happening this year. I pulled up his video part, the guest jeans part. We can watch some of that, but I think it's not happening. Yeah, exactly. Thrasher is not really into our opinions. If they left it up to people who are actually voting, it'd be a bunch of 40-year-olds voting for Andy Anderson, and he'd just win every time. Or it would be like 30-year-olds voting for Jamie Foy. That's all who would win repeatedly. It would be like a battle between like and he's the best ever. And like Jamie can front crook anything. Now, when we talk about those two, Jamie definitely deserves it. I'm just saying that's probably what would happen every single year. All right, we know Alex, it's not happening, but he did have a guest jeans part. I don't really know what you can say about guest jeans in skateboarding. It's like the strangest thing, but he did have some pretty crazy clips. Um, I don't know. I don't know what to say about. Oh, I realize I'm not sharing this either. I don't know what to say about Alex really, except that um, he's not my favorite skater. I'm sure he's not your favorite skater. Um, one time I was working at a when I was working at the trampoline park, he came in with like the real team. Um, and I'll let it go because he was just a kid, but he was such a doofus. He was so rude to everybody who worked there, and really just not a nice kid. But he was like 13, and he was with like all his like real skateboard buddies. So we're all kind of shitty when we're 13 with all our bros, right? I do think he does some cool stuff, but I think it's all lost because of his jeans. I think these pants are like completely and totally the dumbest looking pants you could ever skate in. They look like they're this big at the bottom. They don't look like they fit right. I don't know. I'm just not into those pants. Yeah, I agree. He's definitely vanilla to me as well. He's good, like he does some cool stuff, and like this was cool, but like I just kind of forget that he is out there at all. And then when I do think about him, unfortunately, all I think about is those jeans. So that it's hard to like really like go like he has a voice in this. The only thing I actually ever really think about when I think about it is actually this back lip he finishes at the end. This 50-50, I wasn't the front people was sick, but this 50-50 that he does here, I wasn't that excited about because it was a roll on 50-50. And with the size rails he does, I think he could have ollied into that. I don't think he needed to roll on it. But this back lip is crazy. I think we can all agree with that. Yeah. Yeah. I actually don't know what this guy could do to like improve his style. Because I think, yeah, Gifted Hater did talk about it as well. But like I don't know what he could do. Because he kind of looks like a giant guy. Like he looks big. Right? So like it's strange to see him in these huge bands. But that's Alex. Let's go back to the tier list. We got Alex. Definitely not happening. We know that. Next up is a big heavy hitter. We have Antonio Durao. I think that he is definitely in the running for Sodi. Like he's going to be in the finals. I don't think there's any way around it. Um, he just kind of when he shows up, kills it. I just wish he'd show up more. Um, and like on like Alex, I like don't think you can forget about Antonio. He always like leaves you wanting some more. You want more of his skating. We just watched Interlude the other day. Let's just pull it up and go over it one more time. Maybe we can find something new in it. I mean, everyone's kind of about his part to death, right? There's really not much left to say. We could fast forward to some of the heavy hitters. We probably don't need to because it's only 2 minutes long. But starting off with this switch heel, it's just crazy. Yeah, I can agree with that. I do think he has a lot of B-side footage. Yeah. Oh, thanks for joining us, Blackjack. Yeah, Antonio Doral, I think he's sick. I just I just know he fits that Thrasher ethos, you know. Like Thrasher's like salivating for another big part from him because he like doesn't give a shit and he's like, riding his BMW, so he's got to be cool. He drifts. That cancel flip is really sick. And when I was going over watching Cherry yesterday because I did like a skate quiz on Cherry, and actually I forget his name now. Paulo Diaz does a cancel flip in that. So I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of crazy because I thought I hadn't seen it in a long time, and there, Paulo Diaz was doing one like just like 10 years ago. I like I said, I think Antonio has like a really good shot of winning. I think it'd be kind of crazy for us to think that he's not definitely in the running. If he comes out with another part, I think it'd be crazy. Yeah, Cherry's 11 years old, not just 10. 2014. Let's just watch this one more time. You just can't get enough of that switch flip. Boom. I think this is probably the like in my head, if he had just done a switch frontside flip and kept it at this, it still would have been a like incredibly good looking switch frontside flip. The fact that he just like at the last minute decided that, maybe he didn't decide to do that. Maybe he was doing the switch frontside flip and then he threw that because he was so close. But throwing the 1 foot at the end is just crazy. A cancel flip is why don't we just go? Why don't I just show you? I call it a cancel flip. I don't know if that's what it's actually called. Let's see. Where is it? Here it is. Cancel flip is this guy. Like flip the board halfway and then flip it back. I always called it a cancel flip because you're canceling your kick flip, right? So kind of like whoop, whoop, bring it back. All right, let's go back to our tier list here. Like I said, this is going to be pretty, this might get a little too in-depth. Chris Athens. I'm going to put him in Miracles Happen. Chris Athens' Death Wish part. If you haven't watched it, I have it up here. It's so good. I think anything that the deep fried guys are doing is crazy. Oh, did Jim Tebow do one of those kick flips? I'm not sure. If he did, it was before my time. Chris Athens, I would like someone like him to win, just because of his skating so much. He's really good, and he skates fast, and he looks good on a skateboard. Um, but I just don't. I think he's got it like next year, or like if they throw it to him, I think it's going to be a lot because of the San Francisco stuff. I think it's fair that he's in Miracles Happen. I think if he ends up winning Skater of the Year, it's like mostly from the San Francisco connections. This part is crazy though. That pressure flip over the gap is sick. I am partial growing up in the Bay Area, having lived in San Francisco. I'm very partial to San Francisco footage because I think for me it not only reminds me of home, but when you're there, you see how hard some of these spots are to skate. But I know that it can get tiresome for people because I think you see a lot of it. Yeah, I agree. If he put out another cool part like right now, I think I'd put him in SOTY contention, SOTY 2025 against Antonio, which is kind of hard to say because Chris Athens he had another part besides this one. This is right by my old work, the Presidio. It's a pretty sick spot, and when I say sick, it's cool to like look at because I never skated it. But where do we draw the line, right? Antonio dropped like what, maybe 2 minutes of footage, whereas Chris Athens this year dropped like 10 minutes of like solid footage, no B roll. So it's kind of like unfair to be like, oh yeah, he should give us another part. But Antonio, he's like might be good with just that. But it's probably has to do with the attitude that these guys have, right? The way they skate. We'll get past this terrible ad. I think that's it for him. Now we're on to a different guy. So let's see here. Chris Athens. I think Miracles Happen is a good choice for him. I don't think we should be any further than that. Yeah, well he was on GX before um, Death Wish, wasn't he? I'm pretty sure he was. All right, and now we're on to the most vanilla, Chris Joslin. I don't. Has he ever won? I don't know if Chris Joslin has ever won Skater of the Year. Yeah, vibe is definitely important for Sodi. There's like a Thrasher ethos they're looking for. I keep saying ethos even though I don't really know what it means. I just kind of understand what it means. Do you know what I'm saying? But like it's like an all-encompassing attitude, look, style, spots. I just don't see Chris winning. I think miracles could happen. You know what? I'm not even going to put him in. I'm going to move him out of there. He's going to. Oh man, no, he's too good for that. Let's just put him in not happening. We just know it's that. Chris is sick. We still haven't seen that 360 flip footage, have we? Have we seen the 360 flip at El Toro? I know we saw the picture, but I'm not sure if I saw the actual footage. But we're not. I mean, we could watch his one of his video parts and see how we feel. Oh, you think it's AI? I'm definitely heading that direction. Something fishy's going on. Yeah, I will say this. I agree with you, Blackjack. I liked when people weren't campaigning for Sodi, but I I do like the like deluge of parts we get. I just wish that it didn't feel so commercial to me with winning the Sodi thing. I wish it felt a little more real, but I guess that's like impossible because if we look back, probably who was the only real person who ever won was maybe Brian Anderson. Let's see. You know what? We don't need to watch Chris. We get Chris. Let's just skip him. We know it's not happening. Let's not watch like 10 minutes of like frontside flips. Bob Burnquist was a great pick and definitely deserved. What was that, 2003 that he won? Let's go to Chapman. I think he has it next year. Cody's so sick. Let's watch his anti-hero part. Yeah, definitely another ATV. Cody is just a rad skater. I'm always happy when it comes out. I'm always stoked to see clips from him. Um, Being on anti-hero is rad. I'm glad that he landed on like a solid company. He just looks good on a skateboard. He's one of those guys that like just looks good on a skateboard. Being on anti-hero fits the best for him. Man, when you think about like the lineup of guys that Lakai had before they went out of business, they had some heavy hitters on that team. It's too bad they couldn't make it work because Cody Chapman was rad. He fits on Converse and everything now. What was the name of that company that Evan Smith did? Cody was on that too. I can see that. Yeah, he seems like he wouldn't care at all whether he got it or not. Like it wouldn't be in his like it wouldn't be on his list of things he wanted to achieve. The Hurricane was sick. Uma, that's it. I actually had an Uma board. A friend of mine's brother-in-law, or like soon to be brother-in-law, he was like, well, he's a friend of mine too. He was like somehow involved with Uma, and so I was like, oh, I'm gonna get one of their boards too. It was a good board. I didn't really have much to say about it. I just feel like they had a hard time like getting their footing. Like their art was pretty cool, but it was like it didn't feel very like groundbreaking. Yeah, yeah, more of a hippie version of Grimple. Maybe took itself a little more serious too. Yeah, I don't think Uma was making shoes. Also like Uma because my grandmother's name was Uma, and so it's kind of like her name because she's UMMA, and Uma was UMA. Interestingly, there was like a lot of Uma things that came out like in that same year where it was like a movie. It was like a horror movie named Uma. This is the stuff I don't like in video parts. I don't like footage of just like we're in the car. Um, I don't mind B-roll as long as it's like kind of telling a story. And I find B-roll that's like this guy sticking his tongue out. I'm like, I hope you brushed your teeth that day because that's kind of gross. Oh yeah, Uma Thurman. I forgot about her. She was a babe. Isn't her daughter's like in Stranger Things, right? Is that Uma Thurman? That backside 180 was really cool. I Reynolds frontside flipped it recently, so I'd like to see a little more stuff on that. A lot of people skating this spot. Antonio skated that as well. That was cool. Yeah, Maya Hawk. That's who it is. That's Uma Thurman's daughter and Ethan Hawke's daughter. Like she could kickflip barefoot. Who would dare kickflip barefoot besides Jamie Thomas? Uma looks definitely like a little more hardcore than the rest of them. Maybe that's why she was so cool. I don't remember this much like transition in his part, but it is cool. That switch board side was rad. I know this isn't Cody, but still sick. I like that too. I think one of the reasons I like Cody a lot is because of how fast he goes. He always seems like he's just like flying. Like it's almost hard to like catch him on film because he's going so fast. The backside 360, yeah, that backside flip on the bank was rad. He's also one of the few people that actually looks cool in those Converse shoes. Um, Normally, when I see people in those Converse, what the Chuck Taylors, I'm not really that impressed with it. He actually looks like he skates them. A lot of guys they like wear them. They look like they're brand new still. They look much better when they're torn up. He's got a good backside 360. I don't know if I speaking of Uma Thurman and Maya Hawk, I've been watching this season of Stranger Things. I don't know if I'm really that excited about it after being such a big fan. Hasn't really been like piquing my interest. Maybe it's this like volume split. Now the next episodes come later on. Yeah, I can go with that, Rex. He does seem kind of like that. He seems like he would kind of just be dinking around somewhere else, and then you'd hear about, oh, did you see what Cody did on this? Let's rewind and take a look at this clip at Miley. Oh, that was sick. Nose bonk tail grab on that is pretty crazy. I always encourage everyone that if you're ever in the Bay Area, please stop at Miley and skate it. It's my favorite spot. Yeah, I can agree with that. I think I'm also in the same camp where I'm like, I just want to know it's going to end good. Frank Brewer is always sick to see. Yeah, with Stranger Things, I just think I'm ready for it to be over, and I just don't want it to be like Game of Thrones. I want to have a reason to rewatch it at some point. Oh man, I was just there, I think like a year ago. When I lived in San Francisco, I was there every day. I lived down the street from it, so I would go quite often and skate pretty much daily, especially around October when the weather was really nice. It was nice and sunny. My work was just down the road from Miley as well. I'd just go skate the banks the whole time. There's like there's other parts of the banks that are cool. This spot looks crazy. I'd like to skate it, but not in the way that he's skating it. I mean, I'd like to skate it like that, but it's not going to happen. That hard flip is sick. He's one of those dudes that can hard flip really nice. See, I think this guy kind of has like the whole Thrasher look and feel as well. That's why I think like next year, if he releases like two parts, like he'd have it in the bag. If you've ever been to Fort Miley, go to this spot too and check out this bank. It's insane. The fact that he kickflipped in this is probably one of the craziest things in skateboarding I've seen. That bank is basically almost vertical. It's you can barely like run up it, let alone kickflip into it. It's that's a crazy. Even that angle doesn't even do it justice, and it's just crazy. Oh, I didn't know Caswell ollied into it. That's crazy. It's a kickflip. Yeah, kickflip is crazy. All right, let's go back to the tier list. We know Cody's not going to get it this year, but I do think he's going to get it next year. Man, we're going real slow. Curran, it's man, it's tough. He's good, but I'm going. Come on, you know that I know that you know that it's not happening. Maybe we move it up to not happening. Dan, definitely not happening. We're gonna move through some of these guys really quick. Dan is Dan. I think I hate to say it, but he feels a little past his prime. Um, I think if he had put a real like some good parts out a couple of years ago, it would have been different. We know this isn't happening. Um, he's sick, but we like it's maybe that's not. I mean, this bottom row. I mean, we gotta save that for someone. Who do you think it's gonna be? Yeah, Dan Vanderlyn faded for sure. He was really good. Um, I don't know what happened to him, but he just like kind of disappeared for a while. Maybe he did a responsible thing. Maybe he went to college. A lot of these like really good guys like end up going to college, and you go, oh, where the hell did they go? And like, oh, just earning a degree so I get a better job when I'm done skating. All right, huh, okay. Diego, it's just not happening. I think Chris goes here. I don't think Chris is ever going to get it. Yeah, yeah, Poe's not getting it. I think Chris belongs in there. The more we look at this, because man, now he's on Lakai again, but Lakai's in a new ownership. Um, he's so good, but it's just I don't think it's ever going to happen. This E2, it's not happening. Uh, Fabiana, um, she's rad. I like her. I think this is a tough one. I definitely don't think this is her year. Um, I'm gonna put her in not happening. I think if they ever did like Nicole House would be sick. She's rad. I think Fabiana could do it. I think she could do it if she like had a few more parts and like more support from the industry. If she wasn't on Etnies in my mind is like completely blown it, and so yeah, she'd have to leave Santa Cruz too. Gabriel Summers, I think he fits the Thrasher ethos. Um, Look at that. He's got the middle fingers. He's got them right there for us. He wants us to know how much he doesn't care about this. Um, Rad, dude. Took some heavy slams. I love that he kept going back for that kickflip backside 50-50. I think that's kind of one of those things in skateboarding that only skateboarders really, or not, I shouldn't say only skateboarders, but people who have done like extreme sports or like really like been obsessive about something they love, you don't know how much it bothers you until like you finally get what you're trying to get. Oh yeah, yeah, she's sick. I think we'll get to her. She's on this list, I think. But I think Gabriel, I think there's a really good chance he could get it. Um, and isn't the whole thing that like Thrasher doesn't like Jamie Thomas? And didn't he like came out and said he didn't like all the stuff that Jamie was doing when all that Chris Cole stuff popped up, and he left Zero because of it. So it wouldn't be surprise me if they were like, oh, Gabriel's like sick because he like gave the middle finger to Jamie, and we don't like Jamie either, which is kind of a shame. I like Zero. I don't particularly like their image, but I like a lot of their like graphics and their history of the company. But the Chris Cole stuff, we won't get into it, but Jamie blew it on that for sure. All right, let's see here. Who do we got next? Uh, Grayson Fletcher, you know, and I know that he's not going to get it. We watched his part. He's sick, but I just can't get into him. I just am not feeling it. I think he falls into the Chris Jocelyn place for me. Yeah, I can two things be true at once. Zero's rad, Jamie's great at skating, but man, he is such a kook. Yeah, the kickflip at the Laguna Hills Park was nuts. I mean, let's do this. Let's be Grayson. I watched his little documentary. You know, he's had he's made some choices in life that have been tough, and I love a good comeback. Let's move him up a little bit. Let's give him some grace. Everyone deserves a second chance. Miracles happen. I think that would be fair for him. I think if he stops punching himself in the head and stops skating barefoot, we could see some real non-smelly footage from him. Who's he on? Oh, he's on Birdhouse now. Tom Schar's part, I don't know. We might want to pull that up. The vert part that he just released this week. Tom Schar's vert part looked pretty. It was rad, and he had that Birdhouse giant B logo, which I thought actually looked kind of cool. But Birdhouse is another one of those legacy companies with kind of a tough history. Gustav, it's not happening as badly as I would want it to happen. And admittedly, I haven't watched his latest part, the Adidas part. Oh yeah, the FDR clip is. We're gonna have to watch it. We'll pull it up because the FDR clip, the lip stall on that thing that Tom Schar does is absolutely bananas. Let's just pull up Gustav real quick. I think he deserves a watch, especially since I haven't seen his Adidas. If you've seen this guy, you know he's like really good. I think in terms of like the Hesh guys, he's probably going to turn a bunch of people off because he's like really like style, flow. But I like it. I think he's sick. I think the whole thing is he was a filmer, right? Nice. I'm glad you're working. Well, Saturday. That's a bummer, but at least you can still listen. I used to wear headphones at work before we had Bluetooth headphones. That was sick. See, I like his skating because he's skating like a lot of like small spots. So to me, it like looks sick. That front foot impossible, that switchtail side was crazy. But I stripped my headphones, so it was just the like the raw copper wiring, and I like stitched it into a beanie, so that when I was standing at work, I had my beanie on, and then I would listen to audiobooks. Yeah, Gustav is sick. It's not happening. It's not going to be him, but as much as I wish it would be, I think the last like unique style guy they had on Thrasher was probably Silas. Silas was the last one that I was like, oh, he's like skates a little different. I think the thing about Gustav when we were watching like that was cool is like he makes like these little spots look rad. Totally stealth. It was like 4 hours standing in the same place listening to people tell me what to do. It was an impossible job. I think the thing you need to recognize with Gustav too, and when I say you, I'm talking about me, Eddie. I need to recognize that these spots are crusty as all get out. That switch 360 flip was crazy. This spot looks cool. Look at that kick flip. Very Levi Brown. I think Thrasher would say too many cameras, not cigarettes. That would be like one of the reasons why he wouldn't get it. That was cool. They did it both regular and switch. That was a cool one too. That little blunt slide inside that little cutout was rad. He's one of the only people that make Adidas look good to me besides Mark Johnson um, and Man Down. He skates a pair of campuses. But that like clear sole on those Aloha's is really cool looking. I haven't skated a pair of Adidas since I was like 20, 21. Got them on sale at Ross. I think they were the campus ones and they weren't even like the actual skate version because I don't think Adidas was doing the skate version yet. That was crazy. I don't know. Watching this, I'm not sure if Gustav could ever win. I think he's kind of one of those guys that sick. A little Danny Gonzalez action. I think he's one of those people that like he's a man of the people. People really like you know the smaller, technical, more like cut spots. That was sick. I also don't think a lot of people could be doing what he's doing either. Some of these tricks are pretty crazy. Not US based enough. Yeah, I see that too. I don't know. We should look at the list sometime. Maybe when they announce the winner, we'll take a look at the list that Saturday, see who's won. Yeah, a skater for sure. He like falls into that category of like you go over to a buddy's house and you're like you know how long they've been skating by like if they want to watch Chris Jocelyn's latest part or Gustav's part. And then you know whether or not you're like going to be able to skate with them again. Ooh, you just wanted to eat Big Macs and watch Chris Jocelyn frontside flip gaps over and over. Oh, but he wanted to have some sushi rolls and watch Gustav. Sounds like more my style. Gustav's sick, but we know it's not happening. Not this year, Gustav, as much as we would want it done. What's that? Yeah, yeah, he could be. Yeah, Jocelyn fans definitely don't know who Gustav is. Uh, for sure, don't know who Gustav is. It's like asking someone who like eats like Big Macs 3 times a week if they know what a carrot is. But yeah, I think he could be SSOTY, the skater of the year. Definitely. Maybe we should start doing that. All right, let's get back on track here. Who do we have left? We're actually going pretty quick through this. Herman, it's not happening. It's just not happening for Herman. I think Gustav, I hate, yeah, Herman, it's not happening. Gustav, I think it's in the right place. It's just not going to happen. Jocko, same thing. Man, a lot of these people, Kento, it's not happening. Kevin, I think next year, and I think he is in a good place for even possibly getting it in 2025. You think more of a miracles? Okay, I'll put him in miracles. I can see that. Let's see here. Herman. Yeah, I can see that. Herman's sick. It's definitely nothing against him. Um, and I think he could. I think he's potential to be in the future. Um, let's put him ahead of Grayson. Let's keep it ahead of Grayson. All right, let's see here. I have a hard time saying his name, so don't. Kainosuke Yamashita. This dude is rad. I pulled up his part because I think we should watch it. Who's had a lot of follow-on footage? Herman, maybe Herman. Yeah, I agree with that. Let's see. Let's pull up Kaiosuke. Let's watch his part. There's a lot of guys that have come out of Japan lately. Um, there's a lot of really great skaters in Japan. It's really interesting to see like kind of the Japanese skate culture kind of just become something um, different than what it was. It's like its own thing. It's really cool to see. Oh yeah, and he skates eggs too. He was on Primitive. Is he still on Primitive? And at one point, wasn't he on Lakai? I'm sure he's probably on like A6 now. Kickflip was sick. The shape of that egg board in particular, that one that he's skating, is the same as the Frankie Villani egg. It's like a 9.25, 875 over the wheels. It's a great shape of a board. Flips really well, feels really stable. So it's cool to see him skate that board. I think one of the things like Japanese video parts that I always really like too. Yeah, the shape seems really big on him when it's really not. The board really isn't that big of a board. Oh, you're skating a heroin board there, but that makes sense because they're the same wood shop and same. They have the same shape in their lineup most of the time. But I was saying a lot of the Japanese spots, like you don't see a lot of these spots normally. So it's like equally fresh in like its environment. You're not like, I don't know. Sometimes like skating a lot of like shots where guys are hitting the same spot over and over, it gets like really boring. Um, so I think that helps a lot. There's like greenery, the city looks cool. Um, but yeah, it's for a few years now. A lot of Japanese skaters are a lot of them are really good. I mean, Yudo, Yudo is like great. He's one of those ones that have gone like kind of a bit commercial, but like for some reason I'm willing to like let it go by because maybe because he still feels like he's leveled up everyone in like a way that wasn't like the same way that you would like say Nija did. Maybe because he came out of like you didn't see him when he was really young. It wasn't like oh, of course he's doing that. It was like all of a sudden Yudo was like out of nowhere. Just this beast, so good. And his street footage is really good. Right. Yeah. The spots are not stale. Like it's not the same exact thing we've been seeing for years. That barrel flip in was sick. That was a cool little nose bonk. Like that. Switch crooks drop in. So I think he was just wearing some Asics just a second ago. Got some Lakais on there. We'll forgive the black wheels. Not my favorite choice. That was cool. I was hoping he would do a vertical drop in like that. He kind of falls in a little bit with Gustav, where he's doing a lot. He is doing bigger stuff than Gustav is doing, but he's doing these little small technical, like half cab flip 5-0s to manuals like this, fakie flip manual, then drop down a 7. Pretty sick. Full cab, fakie flip, very reminiscent of Bastian Salabanzi. That was a cool little backside flip. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's something to be said about seeing different tricks done at different spots. I think it's just when I see something, that I haven't seen, um, it's a bit refreshing. Kind of Suke, that was cool, but it's not happening this year. We know that. Let's see here. We're almost through this list, gang. Mason Silva, um, it's not happening this year, but I think it could happen next year. I was actually watching a gifted hater thing, and he was telling him to cut his hair. And it's funny because I had the same exact reaction to that real video where his hair is long. We've seen his head shaved for so many years that he looks like he's wearing a wig. Yeah, he looks strange with long hair for sure. It's a bit like literally like Annie, like the musical. I feel like he's got a wig on. So I'm saying next year. I could see Mason getting it next year. Come on, we know this is never gonna happen. Nigel's never gonna happen. He's never gonna get it. They're never gonna give it to him. Yeah, his hair is. Yeah, well, that too. As someone with a sneaky hairline, if you have hair like that, I mean, man, you gotta get it out there. Do something with it. Don't spend years of it shaved because eventually you're gonna have to shave it anyways. Um, Nija is never gonna win. If he was ever gonna win, it would have been the year that what's his name won the second time. Or was it last year that he should have won? I don't know. Some year he released like 10 video parts. Just never going to happen. Totally. If you had seen Westgate with like hair after so many years of shaving his head, it would also throw you off. I think the same thing with Reynolds. It would be really weird now, even though he had a great bowl cut when he was younger. Let's see. Poe, come on. We know that's not happening. Rowan, I think it could be. I think miracles could happen. Well, I think miracles could happen. What do you think? Jaws washed up. Yeah. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, he's still great, but man, there's too much swirling around him happening. There's too many things happening. Him and Chris Jocelyn have kind of ended up in the same ballpark for me. Um, it's just not happening anymore. I think Rowan Davis from Australia, miracles could happen, but I also think that he could next year. But he also seems like the kind of guy that isn't going to release like 4 video parts. Um, great addition to Girl though. Him and Lil Dre, I think, are a step in the right direction. Simon, it's not happening. Simon's sick. Everyone loves Simon Banero. I don't know why they chose his like 8th grade school picture as his like Thrasher picture, but because now he has like crazy long hair and he's Looks really good on a skateboard. Yeah, the trained skateboarders are tough. Well, here's going to be, we're getting now to the nitty gritty here because now we have TJ. I think TJ has a better chance than Gabriel at this point. Yeah, Simon's photo is so bad. It's such a bad photo. Um, it almost seems like a joke. You're like, oh, let's like look back at like his photo from like 5 years ago when he was like, I'm brand new. Hey guys, on the trip. Now he's like ripping. I don't know if anyone's seen that footage that girl put out. It's like all raw footage. So sick. Yeah, I wish it was Simon Woodstock. Get more wakeboards and wetsuits. Let's see here. Um, I think TJ, man, see, this is where my bias comes in. I like TJ a lot. I want to see him win. I think he's good, but the trouble is the Oakland alley to back wall was insane. I don't know which one you're talking about. I'd have to see the clip, Rex. I think TJ Rogers fits it in the top three here. Oh yeah. Simon on the brick spot. That was sick. He's he's done some crazy stuff. He's definitely, I don't know, maybe we got to move him. I think let's move him up to next year. We're all pretty fond of Simon. We're pretty happy with Simon at this point. We're all smiling. We're all having a good time. I think next year could be his year. He's on A6 now. He's off Lakai. I think he has some good backing. He seems to be an industry favorite. Let's see. TJ Rogers was the last person. He's my pick. I'll just be honest. I think he's dropped a ton of footage. I like guys that look like they're having fun. Um, so I'm hoping that someone who looks like they have fun on a skateboard. Antonio also looks like he has a great time on a skateboard. So let's keep going here. Toby Ryan, um, it's not happening, but this dude rips. His video part in the real video oval was crazy. He nollie backside flipped Wallenberg this year. Um, I don't think there's even a chance it's going to happen this year, but I do think he could in the future. I don't think it's next year, but I think it's in the future. All right, who do we got next? Oh, Tom Shar. Let's put him in Miracles Happen. Let's just pull up his video while we're looking at it. He had like 2 parts this year. Is it curtains? Yeah, it was curtains. Let's share this video. We're going to see this ad. Skip the ad. You think Vanilla on Toby? I can see that. He's got some growing to do. This is the lip stall we were talking about earlier. That is crazy. I think Toby has a better chance of getting out of the vanilla category than Jocelyn and Middler for sure. Kickflip nose stall is sick. This whole video part, being that it's all transition, is still really good, which is saying a lot for like a 6-minute video. Yeah, if he can make the khakis work. If we can get more like khaki with the white shoes, my the back of my brain will itch. You're giving a yawn to Tom Shar? What is this, Mitchy Brusco? Blackjack, are you secretly Mitchy Brusco? Skate IQ? but Tom Shaw breaks his helmet when he's upset. I think this part's pretty cool. Watching it without the song though, maybe I was influenced by the Cranberries zombie song. Um, I also remember thinking when I was a kid, it'd be cool if someone skated to that, but it was way too commercial. So to seeing someone skate to it now is kind of crazy. I will say this. The things I don't like about Vert is when they pulled out that things that they do when they pull out like the soccer goal that's in this. It's crazy, but you didn't need to bring the soccer goal up there to do a nose blunt. That big spin looks sick. That ramp that kind of cuts up at the end. This is crazy. Ollie up from the vert to the blunt stall instead of riding up to it. That was cool. That was a great one. I mean, if you're on Birdhouse, Tony has to show up, right? Was that fakie shove, fakie 5-0 for Tony? Blunt kickflip. Dave Duran skated to Smashing Pumpkins. I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't remember that part. I think someone else recently skated to Smashing Pumpkins too. I know I keep hearing the Smashing Pumpkins, one of their songs, like Mayonnaise, everywhere right now. I'm probably caught in some sort of. Oh, he was on New Deal. Okay, I'll have to check out. Maybe we'll watch that next week. The New Deal video. Do you know which video it was, Blackjack? That was sick. Nollie flip out of that nose grind was rad. This is what I'm talking about. The soccer goal doesn't need to be up there. Just, I don't know. Things like that with vert bother me. I don't know why. It just feels kind of like a little bit contrived. This this is pretty crazy. Anything on the mega ramp seems like really intense. Oh, there's the nollie flip you were talking about. That, yeah, that's a crazy nollie flip. We'll watch Deal is Dead next week. That'd be a pretty great video. If we weren't already like tipping an hour 30, I'd say watch it this week, but we're almost done with the list. Dang, that back tail shove is sick. You know, I would want someone like Tom Shaw to win at one point, but I find that the skating probably just isn't relatable for enough people. It's like a lot of like stunt skating. It feels like you're watching like a devil of some sort. It almost like blurs the line of like motocross. Yeah, Monster Jam. Totally. Like it's sick, but like isn't I couldn't even like make it up half that ramp. Maybe fully padded I could make up half the ramp. But we all know that I'm not doing that. Fakie 5-0 kickflip, that's pretty sick. Or I guess fakie like crooks. Gregson's like a rad filmer. It is extreme. Yeah, I can agree. The tech trick, the tech tricks in this video part tip it over for me. If it wasn't for the nollie flip, the nose grind nollie flip, the back tail shove, I think this part I wouldn't even watch it. It would just be not enough for me to like, be into it. Let's get back to the tier list. We're almost done. We got 3 left. Tristan Funkhauser. It, I love watching him skate. I know that he's divisive. I think a lot of people don't like watching him skate. I think he's fun to watch. Like for me personally, I like seeing his video parts. Um, we were gonna move a couple people here though, weren't we? We're gonna take Middler and we're gonna move him. He's going into that I know. It's just not happening. But I think he's at the back end of that list, just about to tip over. Yuri, oh man, Yuri, oh he's a tough one. Yuri's a tough one because um, yes, the Thrasher vibe check. I do think he passes that. Or are you talking about Tristan? I think Yuri passes the Thrasher vibe check as well. I think both Tristan and Yuri are in there. I actually think that Yuri, T Funk, I mean, yeah, T Funk for sure. The gap to wall ride on the tree, pretty sick. I think him being on Baker helps. Uh, I think Yuri had a better part this year and a good story. This whole like exactly adds into his lore. Yuri having kind of fallen out of the scene for a bit, was on Almost with the Dwindle guys, and now he's kind of pushed himself back into relevancy. And his skating is like really tech, but also like just sloppy enough that it looks like he's going really fast and like really like I don't know, very unique. He did the hard flip frontside nose grind on a picnic table. And if you had asked me like 6 months ago if a hard flip frontside nose grind could ever look good, I would have said no. But the way he did it looked sick. Yeah. Oh, the 180 nose grind in the courthouse. That was crazy as well. And we got one left, Zion. You know, I think Zion could have won it a couple years ago. I'm going to put him on not happening this year, though. I just don't think Zion's going to win. I think 3 years ago, he was on fire. For some reason, he was everywhere. Yuri on Death Wish reminds me of Deshaun on Toy. I don't know if that's a good thing because Deshaun on Toy didn't really fit, did he? Whereas Yuri on Death Wish, I feel like Death Wish has kind of been pushing a lot of these guys, like Chris Athens, Jake Hayes, Yuri. Who else is on Death Wish? I mean, you could say Eric Ellington, but that doesn't really count. Jim Greco doesn't really count. Who's on Death Wish now? Let's do the old man thing and let's pull up their website. Let's see if we can find it. Death Wish team. Oh, Jamie Foy. What's wrong with us? All right, let's see. It doesn't have a team page. Let's look at. You're used to seeing burnouts on Death Wish. Yeah, I can agree with that. Let's go to the site. Oh, here it is with Yuri. There's this part right here. Maybe we'll just end up watching it. Who's got a board? I always like looking at people's apparel because it's always so terrible. You know, these shirts probably like feel like sandpaper. Like this shirt, not gonna happen. That Death Wish logo on the back of that plaid shirt, no, not happening. Not happening, gang. Jacopo, Jacopo's sick. Maybe Death Wish has a good team now. I'm not really seeing like a team. Last call, things on sale, lookbook. This is where my old eyes don't function too well. Jamie, we already said Jamie. Yuri. I think we named them all. Not a bad team. Yeah, I was pulling up the board to see if we could find the names of people. This board's kind of crazy. Shank Cruiser. I don't know how I feel about this. Death Wish has never had a logo like a board that I've been like, whoa, look at those graphics. I didn't watch Victoria Rasuga's part. Yeah, I think the t-shirt logos are kind of tough for me to pull off as well. I kind of like this sci-fi one. I like this one because it's like embroidered in the same color, so it's a little subtle. Oh, maybe we should watch it. Victoria Yasuga. Let's look it up. It wasn't on their homepage. Yuri's part was. Let's see. Victoria Yasuga. So I'm looking. It's just pulling me up to Facebook for some reason. Maybe we'll watch her part next week. Let's see. Who do we got next? Who do we have next on this list? I think that might have been it, wasn't it? So that's the list. That's who we got. Do we all agree? I think it's definitely one of these four. I don't think Yuri's going to get it though. I want him to. I think if we really think he's going to get it, I think we'd have to move Tristan up there as well. What happened to Lizard King? I don't know. He's not. He's somewhere in Arizona, Nevada, Las Vegas, probably hanging out with what's his name? The other guy in Vegas that's like doing the slot machines all the time. He was on Baker. Let's see. I think that's it, gang. I think we did it. I think Antonio is probably number one, and I think it cascades down from there. I'd probably put Tristan above Cody. It's more likely Cody would be the fifth choice. Mason, I think, would also be in there like that. I don't think we need to go deeper than this. Chris Athens would still be a sick choice. I think Chris Athens would be a really like fresh, cool choice for them to do, but it would be a miracle for sure. I mean, what do you think? Do you think it's the top four? My personal choice is TJ, just out of his sheer determination to keep skating. I was watching his blind. He did a blind part that he was in like 2010. So it's been like 15 years. And in that 2010 part, he was doing big stuff. Before the pick, should let's see, T Funk and Beckel making it in top six before the pick. Yeah, Beckel. They've been talking a lot about Kevin Beckel. I can see that he skated some big stuff. That creature's like a big Thrasher loves creature. They really do. They give it to Milton. Well, I think that's an appropriate choice. Why don't we do this? I don't think. Are we in the same place here? I think he probably would get it before Tristan would get it. And he might even get it before Yuri. Let's do this. Are we okay with the top four? I don't know if I want to go higher than the top four. I think it's like that. I think you're right. I think Kevin Beckel is up there. Yeah. And there was a big push. Big creature push. I think I'm comfortable at least with this top 4, top 9 thing we got going between these guys. I think they're in the right order too. I don't know who would be your skater of a lifetime. Well, that's a really stupid question for me because it'd be Mark Johnson, maybe Guy Mariano, but yeah, I think we did it. I think we're on it, gang. And we've been streaming now for an hour and a half. It's been real. I got to paint the bathroom. I'm hoping to go skate, and we're still training a puppy. So I got to get off, have some coffee, and get on with the weekend. But this is always a highlight of my weekend. Thanks for coming out. Rex, Blackjack, Dr. Mantis, um, Barnhart. It's always rad when you guys like talk. And I talk to you guys a lot on Instagram and through text message too. So always great to watch videos with friends. And next week, I guess maybe they'll announce the winner. Um, yeah, that is the plot twist that Jagger's dad pays for it. Hey, you guys are great. Give your pets some scratches for me. Drink some water. Tell your loved ones you loved them, and call your friends and see how they're doing. I think it's next week, maybe the week after. I don't know. They'll announce it before Christmas, and Christmas is only in 2.5 weeks now. At this point, if you haven't got presents for anyone, it's getting crucial. I am in that boat. I need to get shopping. Anyways, everyone, it's been a great morning. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to next week. It's always a highlight of my week. Well, we're all winners. If we're still skating, we're definitely winning. As long as we're enjoying it to some way, in some regard, even if it's a fingerboard, we're winning. Everybody, have a great weekend, and I'll catch you next week. Saturday morning skate videos. Maybe we'll have a winner, maybe we won't. Bye, everyone.